All right, so today's video, I want to show you, or I guess I want to start a series really about making some custom hooks. And every time I make a custom hook for a project that I'm working on, I will share it with you guys in CodePen. So today is really one that I kind of built more out of just to learn about it. And it's the MatchMedia API that's on the window in the browser. So every browser has this MatchMedia. It's a way to access media queries with JavaScript, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I use it in some of my projects. You don't necessarily always need to use it, but I'm going to show you how to make it, and then we'll go over some like ways I guess you could use it. And I'd love to hear more from you because I mean, maybe there's something that I'm just missing. That's a cool way to use this thing. So let's look at the computer, and I'll take you through the code, and we'll actually write it out too. All right, so here's what we're going to be building. I'm going to show you just kind of what it does. Right now you can see I have just a little title. I have a resize event, which is how most people, or I'm going to say most people, which is how a lot of times you think when you want to listen to whether the window's being resized, a resize event. So this is going to be firing all the time. And then I have two actual instances of my useMatchMedia hook. One that's listening to above 900 pixels and another 600. So when I move the window, you can see the resize event is moving. And then when it gets down to like 900, it should go to blue. And then when it goes down to 600, that other one should go blue, and it says below and below, and then above and above. So let's code this thing up and get that going. I'll blow the screen up here real quick. All right, so let's do some semi-live coding. I actually have my notes so I don't screw things up too much, but we're gonna write this up in JavaScript. When I share the files though, or when I share the code sandbox, you'll see it in JavaScript and TypeScript because I am a huge TypeScript fan. So the first thing we obviously need to do is pull in, I think we're going to use state in this hook. We're going to use an effect, and we're also going to use a ref. And this, I'll actually ask you for your opinion on this when I get to it. So let's go const use match media. Get this thing up. Sometimes I always like to think about, let me export it real quick. You kind of think about what are you trying to get out of this hook, and that's what you're going to return. So I want to return a Boolean, essentially saying like I hit my my media query, or I didn't hit it, or it's either true or false. So I'm going to return, in this case, what I called it is toggle change. So that's going to be a true or false thing. So the first thing we can actually set up here is some state being, let's see, toggle change and set toggle change. And I hope my keyboard's not too loud. So we're gonna say false at first, although, yeah, false at first, because we're actually gonna reset that kind of the first thing. So another first thing I wanna get done is I wanna set up my ref. So I'm gonna say match media ref equals useRef. And at first, I'm gonna set that to null because it's not gonna be anything. But when I use my effect here, that's where everything's gonna get set. So this is going to be all based on an incoming width that we're gonna supply. So here's where the width goes. We're gonna say width, and we're gonna set it equal to, I just set it a default of 600. So if you don't supply the width, it'll be 600. If you do supply the width, it'll be whatever you want it to be. And that's what this useEffect is gonna listen to. So the first thing I do is get my, or set my ref here. So let me go matchMedia ref dot current, whoops, dot current. I'm not sure why, oh, I know why. Because I need to set the actual label for that first. Oh, actually, I don't even need to set the label, I can just go right for it. MatchMedia dot current is equal to window dot matchMedia, and then here's where you supply your query, the media query you want to listen to. So I usually go design everything for phones first, so I usually use min width. That's what I like always use. So I'm gonna go min width, and then we're gonna toss in the width that we give it in pixels. So real quick, I would like to know your opinion. I use refs to hold this type of data, these little, like, because refs kind of like a property in a rack component, and when the component's like destroyed or taken off the DOM, so is the ref, like what's inside the ref. So you don't have these like, so you don't have a window match media query just hanging out there. I think that's a good way to do it. It might save up memory. Tell me what you think about that. But anyway, the first thing that we need to do, and you'll see notes on this too, is perform an initial match, because when the when the screen loads or when the component loads, you need to know, is it true or false? Is the initial, like, is it hitting the media query or is it not? So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go const initial, match, hope I spelled that right, is equal to matchMediaRef.current.matches. And that's gonna be a true or false, whether it is hit, in this case, if it's bigger than 600 or smaller. So we're gonna say if initial match, then we're gonna set toggle change. So if it is bigger than 600, we're gonna set it to true. Else, just set toggle change to false. So that handles the loading of the component. So the next thing you want to do is, if you want, you don't have to, you can actually kind of leave it here if you really needed to. If you want just a one-time thing, but if you want to listen to the screen changing, you have to set up a listener. So we're going to go matchMediaRef.current.addListener. And then we have to, it's going to provide us an event. So we're going to say a test, and we're going to create that test right now. You'll see. So const test is just got another function in here. It's going to take the event from the listener. And here, this one thing's bugging me. I put return twice. So this test function is going to take the event, which is whether or not it's hitting it. And we're going to say if event.matches. If that's true, it's above 600, so we can say set toggle change to true. And if it's not, set toggle change to false. So now it's listening to the window whenever it's being resized, which also means whenever you think about something that's a listener or that is currently doing something on screen, that's like kind of your key to be like, I have to clean this up when this component unmounts. So you're always going to return that cleanup function. And you're going to go matchMediaRef.current.remove listener and put in test, just like that. That should be everything for this component, or for this hook. Let me take you through my other version of it, just with the steps in it. So we'll go through everything one more time, but this should be it, and you can see it in TypeScript. I'll show you that real fast too. In my app in this case it's TSX, because again, I said I usually love coding now in TypeScript. What I'm doing is I'm getting this window width because I'm using that for this effect right here, where I'm doing the resize event on the window. So when you saw the demo, you saw that I was doing the resize event, updating whenever I moved it, and that's just updating those pixels right here. So here are my two kind of instances of my hook. I got one where I'm listening at 900 and one where I'm not passing anything. Remember, my default is 600, and you can make that whatever you want to. And then down here, I'm just kind of using them, saying like, if toggle change is true, meaning it's above 600 pixels or 900 pixels, make it orange. And then if it's false, make it normal, which normal in my CSS file was that blue. And that's really it. So when you actually use it, you get the effect of, I'll show you again at the very end. But if you just go through, when you look at this file, you'll see this JS file, which is the thing we just coded up, but with notes. So kind of the first step is to perform your initial check. Step 2 is to add your listener if you want to. Step 3 is to update state based on the listener event that's emitted. Step 4 is to return what change has happened. And then step 5, in my case, the way I ordered it, is to remove the listener whenever the component unmounts. The TypeScript version is almost exactly the same, except for you have just the types of the event and just that. So if you want it for TypeScript as well, it's pretty much the same. So here's the little demo one more time. You can see the resize event is going off right now. All those pixels are changing, and then whenever it hits that number, you can see the match-media, it fires. So it's always listening, but it's only firing that event when it hits those parameters or the width that you set. So what would you use this for? I mean, again, I said I use it for hiding and showing content sometimes, or different components. You can update state with it, perhaps. You could do something cool with that. You can show a modal. So if somebody is going like small, you can pop up a quick modal and it'll say something like, "Yo, don't go too small if you, for some reason." Or you can add and remove different classes to different components or things like that. So, you can do some things perhaps. Again, I did this mainly just to learn about MatchMedia. Let me know if you come up with anything cool, because that'd be a great way to even improve this hook, and I hope it's helpful. And that was using MatchMedia, my custom hook. You can try it out yourself, use it, maybe improve it, or come up with cooler ideas about how to use it, because I would love to know if there's any more. I really used to use it sometimes to hide content and show content in different parts of the page, depending upon the browser resizing. Something that a lot of times I don't even know if you have to think about. It depends on your audience. Like if you have an audience that is more business savvy with a laptop, they might be actually resizing their window a lot. And if you got more of an audience that just is like using their phone most of the time, you probably don't have to worry about it. But you could use it a lot if they're going from landscape to portrait. So something to think about. Let me know what you think. I hope you liked it. If you did like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna try to post more often and a lot more consistently. So yeah, I appreciate it. Have a good day.